Yeah, so I'm outside St John Lateran Basilica in Rome, and this is designated a major basilica. There's only 4 of them, and they're all in Rome, and they are churches with a high status, higher than a cathedral, but they can also be a cathedral as well. This is actually the seat of the Pope, this cathedral, and in ecclesiastical terms is probably of a higher status than St Peter's Basilica, though obviously St Peter's is more famous. And as you see, it doesn't get as busy as St Peter's. It's about 9:30 in the morning. So, you know, as you can imagine, at St Peter's, they'll already be queuing, probably. Yeah, it's more of a restrained kind of Baroque style. Very nice facade. And it's called Lateran because Lateran, it comes from, I think it's Latinus or Laterini. It's it was an old patrician family in ancient Rome, but Constantine kind of took their property and gave it to the church. Yeah, along with this, the other 3 major basilicas are St Peter's Basilica, St Maria Maggiore, and I will put the other one up on the screen because I can't remember. St John Lateran Basilica is thought to be the oldest public church in Europe. It was founded in 324 AD. But the church you see behind me, you know, it's been reconstructed a number of times. But I'll be showing you the oldest extant Christian church a little bit later, and you'll get more of a flavour of what early church architecture will look like. Only took me about 10 times to do that. Christ. I'm thinking maybe I should give up the ghost because I'm not very good at this. So I'm just on my way to this church I wanted to show you. You don't usually get a lot of tourists. You get a few. But it's not usually on their itinerary. It's got a nice little park near it, so you get a lot of people coming to see the view. Because we're on the Aventine Hill. Yeah, I have been here before, just trying to recollect where it is. I think I know. It's just in front of us now. Very significant church. Not the best view of it from here. I imagine it's going to be quite busy though, unfortunately. It's my own fault, I should have got up earlier. Yes, so you get people coming to this park, and obviously they probably pop in the church as well, but I imagine a lot of them don't come here strictly to have a look at the church. But yeah, it's a nice little area, a lot of shaded parts. And this is the view you get, so you can see why people are probably taken here on tour groups and what have you. Yeah, so the reason this church is significant is because it's the oldest extant public church in Europe. Yeah, before Constantine gave Christianity an official status, most Christians would be worshipping in each other's homes. So yeah, this is a very good example, or probably the best example we have of early Christian architecture. There are other churches that were founded earlier, but they've been reconstructed a number of times over the centuries. Armenia was actually, I think, the first European country to adopt Christianity, but their cathedral doesn't bear much resemblance to what it did originally. So a basilica in ancient Roman times was essentially a public building which served a variety of functions. Some were law courts, others were clothing bazaars, council chambers. Even back then, the apse or in the nave would hold an effigy of the emperor or a Roman god. As you see, it's a very kind of plain exterior, essentially rectangular, terminating in an apse at one end. And yeah, this was quite practical for the early Christians because they needed a large space to house the congregation, because temples were really just built to shelter the different gods, and the worshipping would take place outside of the temple. I'll take you inside the interior now because it's quite interesting as well. So we have 12 columns on each side of the nave, almost certainly alluding to the 12 apostles. These are Corinthian columns, and the studies suggest these were recycled from an older ancient building, most probably the Temple of Juno, which was located close by. On the spandrels there is some original decoration made from inlaid marble known as opus sectile. The image is of a chalice and paten, thought to emphasize that the key ceremony that took place in a Christian basilica was the Eucharist. If we focus our attention on the west end of the church, there is a mosaic with gold letters on a blue background. This is a dedicatory inscription to Peter of Illyria, a Dalmatian priest who financed the building of the church. The windows in Santa Sabina, which look like glass, are actually selenite, a soft translucent crystal which was used in windows before the invention of glass. Santa Sabina is one of very few buildings remaining which still has selenite windows. The western end doors of Santa Sabina are made of cypress wood. On the entrance to it are 18 carved panels depicting scenes from the Old and New Testament. The top left panel, and the most notable, depicts the crucifixion, Christ flanked by the two thieves who were crucified with him. It is believed to be the earliest known publicly displayed image of the crucifixion. Yeah, and the first temple, thought to be reappropriated as a church, kind of whole scale, was the Pantheon. Yeah, so this is one of the best preserved ancient buildings. It was built during the time of Hadrian. Yeah, the main reason that it avoided any mutilation or destruction is because it was reappropriated as a church in the 7th century, and it's been in continuous use since then. So we're quite fortunate, really. Both the diameter and the length from the floor to the oculus is 43 metres, and it's still the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome. I'm knackered. Try and find the nearest metro.